Okay, people, so I'm going to do a video here about Next.js. No fluff, that is to say, a lot of times you see these courses where you're going to build this whole project, you're going to put it in a portfolio. This is not what this is. This is just how to make the thing work. You're going to use this to make something of your own. That's great, okay? It's going to be very bare bones, going to be very little CSS. Like I said, this is about how Next.js works, not about CSS. So that being said, this is also not about how to install Node. I assume you know a little bit of React already. So if you know React already, you already know about Node and the basics of React. So starting off in my folder here called Next.js course. This is my course. I'm just going to go right from the beginning. Open a terminal here. I'm using Windows 10 and I'm using the bash that comes with Git. So I'm in the folder. You create a next app with just create next app, sort of like create React app. Create next app, and you give it a name. And I'm going to call it my course. Of course, I forgot that it's npx, create React app, npx. Okay, and that'll take a minute. So let me just talk a little bit about next, like why do we need to use this? We don't need to use this, of course. This is just it's got a lot of features. It's got some magic built into it. Everybody was all into create React app because it's easy to get up and going. It's not to say that people aren't still into it. Of course, it's very popular still, but Next.js has some other things built into it that make it really nice to use. For instance, basically it could be like a static site generator, but it also can do server-side rendering as well. One of the things I really love about it is the routing. You don't have to install React Router. Nothing wrong with React Router, no shade there, but this has just what they call page-based routing. Like you have a folder called pages, and you put a file in there, and guess what? There's your route. Super duper easy. You can make it just plain old pages. You can make pages that take data and you can incorporate those as props. You can take those props and make Next generate individual pages from those props. Okay, so our it's installed here, so we're going to cd into that folder, and then we are going to do, first I'm going to open my code editor, and we're going to run the program. So here comes VS Code. You don't have to use VS Code. I like VS Code. Who doesn't like VS Code? It's very popular, right? Okay. I must have had something else running in the background here, so it's going to be on 3001. Normally it will be on 3000. So let's open a new window here. And I'm going to bring it on over here. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get this going. Okay. So when you get this up and running, I'm going to go to your pages index. That's the home page. Let me bump up the size here a little bit. Oh, might have been too much. Okay, maybe a little more. That's probably a little better. Okay. So we're in the index file. Like I said, that's the home. Let's just close this for a minute. It has a hot reloading, so if you make a change and hit save, changes are going to automatically show up, except that I did that in the title. Oh, see, it went right up here in the title. That's not what I meant. I meant to do it over here. Welcome to Next.js. Give it a couple extra hit save, and you'll see it automatically goes up there. Okay, so like I was saying, one of the great things is the routing. So let's just start with that. You want to make a new page, a new route, a new you go new file inside anything you put in this pages is going to be a page. So we'll just do about.js. I have a little shortcut here. Okay. This is the about page. Okay. So now if we go over here to what I called this about, right? So if I go over here to about, there it is. This is the about page. It's already there. Okay. And you can put all your regular HTML or JSX to be more precise in here. And there you go. No fuss routing right there. That's one of the main, love that. So let's see, let's talk about making like a header and a footer. You can do the normal stuff you can do in React with all your components. So let's make a components folder. And I'm going to make a new file. Footer. Some people don't like these horizontal rules. I don't care. It's just to prove a point. Again, there's no muss, no fuss here. Trying to keep it simple. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. I'm going to import this footer. There it is. Okay, now we can put it in here. Oh, see, we already have this it has this footer, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use our footer component. And it should update. There it is. There's the footer. Let's make a layout. This is not something that is specific to Next. If you want to have something that goes on all your pages, you typically make a header and a footer or something like that, and then you make a layout component that contains those, and I'll show you where you have to put that layout component to make it apply to all your next pages. So start by doing this. So the layout is going to have our footer. Oops. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Do you ever have one of those days? Okay, so we need to import that. Oh, get out of here. Oh, yay. What is going on? I'm all over the road. There it is. Holy cow. That was way harder than it should have been. Okay, so then we have our footer. So we need to make another header too. So let's real quick, we'll make a header. Come on now. It's one thing about VS Code. Sometimes it gets a little in the way. Can be annoying. We'll call this H2. Why not? I'm the header. And I'm going to put a HR here. that into our layout. Move that up because that bothers me. It needs to be in order because it doesn't need to be, just needs to be, if you know what I mean. Okay, and then we're going to take the children. This is, again, this is something you've probably seen in other React videos, so I'm not going to go too deeply into how this works. So now you have, this is our layout. Basically everything that's in the header, in between the header and the footer, any components you put in there are going to be wrapped by this header and footer, okay? If you're having a hard time understanding what I'm talking about with this, and I say so, and leave a comment and say so, and I can make a longer video about this, but it's not really what this is, the point of this video is, so I'm gonna keep going. So where do you want to put this so that it goes into all your stuff? So one other cool thing about Next, you see this over here, _app. If you, whatever you do here is going to apply to all of your pages. So what I want to do here is import layout from, where is it? There it is, components, layout. Now I'm going to wrap this with my layout. Ooh, how did it get up there? Why does it keep going over there? I'm moving my cursor here. Thank you. What is going on? Whoa. Holy moly. Maybe it needs to do that. Okay. Okay, but this needs to be around here. All right, so now there's my footer, there's my header. Why do I have this? Because back here in the index page, I have the footer. I don't need that anymore, so I don't need this anymore. Okay, so now I should just have the one footer and the one header, and if this worked, it should be on our little about page already too. And it is. I'm the header, I'm the footer. So I didn't have to even do anything to that about page, but it's on there because of this app.js file. Okay, so if I just wrote, you know, nonsense in here, yeah, I know I misspelled nonsense, but that's not the point. Okay, so it's there and it's here too, right? Nonsense, it goes on to every page, okay? That's the point there. So there's your app.js, there's your page-based routing. You have, let's talk about this link right here. Let's do this in the header. We're gonna make like a little nav kind of thing, right? We're gonna do home, and we want to have about so far, right? So you don't use, you could use, oh wait, so I want this to be over here in front of here so that it's up in the header section. Okay, you could use the regular anchor tag, but typically what you do for Next.js, instead of use the anchor tag if you're linking to something that is not on your site, and you want to use the link tag that is provided from Next.js if you're linking to something that is part of your site, because it's much faster. So here's how the link tag works. It's a component that is provided by Next. It goes around here. You say link, and the href is in here instead of the egg tag, and it's going to be to, this one is to home, so it's going to go to slash. Then you still have to wrap this guy in Anchor. The href isn't in here, it's in the other thing. So this goes away. This goes around inside the link. I really don't know where this spaces are coming from. It must be the way I typed, but I don't need all that. What's going on there? All right. Link is not defined because why? Because did you say that auto import? If it's something that Next is aware of or VS Code is aware of, it'll automatically import it for you. I had my cursor on the word link there. I hit Control Space and it brought up that little menu. And then it did this auto import for me. Pretty neat little shortcut. So I'm going to save this, and link is now defined. When I hit home, well, I'm already home. I didn't make the link for about yet, so let's go to the about. It should take me back home real fast. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. Let's get rid of this, and we'll just copy this down. Shift Alt down arrow is going to copy it. So this one is going to go to about, and this is the about page. All right, save. Now it should be going back and forth. Right, so it's much faster linking. Like if you had just used a regular anchor tag, it would actually be going to the server every time. This makes it like a front end linking instead. Much faster page changes. So let's talk real fast about what's styling in Next. You can use whatever you want, but what comes out of the box here for styles is modules, CSS modules, and the way those work. I'm not going to try to explain everything about CSS modules, but real quick, I do want to show a little bit about how they work. So in the index file, we're importing here styles from the styles folder, home.module.css. That's this file over here, home.module.css. And here's a bunch of styles, right? So there's let's find one that'll be good here. So this title and then anchor is probably referring to this, right? So if we change it to red, it doesn't like red because I put that. There we go. So it changes it. The cool thing is, you notice how I was going to say how it didn't apply to these anchors, but that's because this is a direct descendant of title. So that's not a really good example. But what would happen with these modules is if it doesn't affect all the CSS. So if I had another page that had a class of a title and a direct descendant of anchor, it wouldn't affect it. It'll only affect the one that on this particular page. So let's use scope your CSS to a specific place. If you want to do some styles that apply to the whole site, that'll be over here in the global CSS, which is over here in your app.js. See, it's imported here, the global.css. I think that might be a good place to stop for today, and I will do another video tomorrow. Hope you come back and check it out. I hope this was helpful. All right.